Okay, so for this one, this is us trying to um oh yeah, I forgot to say welcome back. Yeah, so for this we're gonna do a small algorithm that does what? It's each time a user enters numbers, it always adds to the number. And when a negative number is entered, it stops and writes out the final result. Right? It's similar to okay, let's run through that real quick. Right? So if you look at this, a user will enter numbers, right? So we are expecting input from the user. And we are creating a sum that will always increment with each number that is added as long as the number is positive, right? Yeah. So how do you want to implement that? First, you want to let's do that thing we do very well. Let's just create our small box that holds the whole thing. So what we are seeing here is that I'm only entering a particular number into our processor, but we have to do a check somewhere here before it enters the processor. And what are we checking? If x is not negative, right? So not negative is saying it if it's greater than 0 or greater than or equal to 0, because 0 is also a, at least 0 is not a negative number. So each time we collect input from the user, we check if it's greater than 0. If it is, we check if it's not negative. If it is not negative, what we do is that we are incrementing it. So sum is equal to sum plus x, right? Then we can, when we are done, so now, oh, of course, we are not done yet. That means what will happen here is that we'll have to go back and keep collecting input from the user, right? So this is where we start. Collect input from the user. That's what this is. Check if the input is greater than or equal to 0. Add it and keep going. Once we are done, we can now return an output here, right? And that's it. So this is simply the progression that you would have, and that's exactly what I have here. If you look very closely, I have initialized x, which is the input, and then the sum, which is what's going to be holding our results. And what I'm doing here is that I'm adding this. Of course, this first time, sum will always be 0 because 0 plus 0 is 0. You enter a number x, it checks if the number is greater than or equal to 0. If it is, what it does, it comes here and adds that number. So in this case, let's say we added 5. It comes here and say sum, which was 0 plus 5, 5. Comes back here and asks again for the number, right, for input. If the person enters a negative number at this point, he just prints out the sum and stops. If he did not, let's say he entered 20, it keeps going. Adds 20 to 5, 25. If you enter 0, adds 0 to 25, 25. And just keeps going that way, an infinite loop, as long as there is no negative number entered. Once a negative number is entered, it comes and prints out the number, the complete aggregated sum, and then you can stop. Of course, if you understand the flowchart, you already understand the pseudo code, right? Understanding this will help you to probably do better as a software engineer. All right, have a great day.